I feel like this one's actually going to be a very powerful, energetic time for us to really push a lot of energy to do a lot of really good, not only amplifying of codes for us today. There's something the Guardians would love for us to work on and to begin to get a little bit more familiar with. And this is going to start to lead us into a lot of the work that we're going to do through 2023. The push for 2023 is to build our light body in a whole new level. So I'm going to be really allowing them to help guide me in sharing with each of you the mechanics of it, the intricacies, and some very detailed meditations that will take us through these processes to build out the layers. And the beings that are going to be working with us through this are the Aquafarian beings. These are beings from beyond this multiverse that have been assisting and working with us. They are more attuned with the Andromedan galaxy, but they actually come from another universe. And one of the most beautiful energies about the Aquafarian beings, there's the Aquae and then the Aquafarian. The Aquafarian are a hybridized of these beings from this other realm that has kind of intermingled with the human form within this time matrix in order to be able to interact with us. And so the beautiful thing about this beings is that in their universe, they do have free will. But one of the amazing energies about their free will is that when they birthed through within their time matrix with this free will, they turned around and gave it back to source. And they gave their free will to source as a way for them to say that we are here to work in the highest good of source creation. So therefore, our free will is your free will. And so as we begin this journey, a lot of the beings, the guardians that we seek help from, this is their philosophy. This is their way in which they serve the all and work within the law of one teachings, if you will, and they are the implementers of this. And so in many ways, as they work with us, that their baseline of the teachings that they share with us is how to build our body, how to build our light body, how to fortify our field. And as we do this, that this is going to amplify us more into that energy of working with starfire, and how we are our starfire, and so how we compress and move through the stargates as the starlight. Because when we do this, what our intentions are is to utilize this gift and capability to hold our consciousness through the stargates. This level of holding our consciousness is not much different than when we practice lucid dreaming. And this is why I really am going to amplify the dream work that we're doing for 2023, because we're going to really explore in a lot of ways. And I will actually be putting actual workshops together for those that want to sign up to go into it in a more intensive way. But we are going to go into depth of where the programming is in our charts, where the programming is in our blueprints. Because as much as we look at our astrological charts, our human design charts, and any of the charts that show our sacred geometry, not only is it showing us how we're influenced and how we're a unique blueprint, but it also shows us where the matrix is programming us to keep us asleep. And our job is to master it. The reason why the Hathors were so big on teaching us know your place in the stars so you know where you are going. If we don't know our own design, when we die, more than likely we end up in the catchments. We end up in the recycling pools. We end up to the false light. We end up just being pulsed through and pushed back into cycles because we're just going along with whatever current, because we haven't done the work in our living, waking life. And so a lot of the energy is coming back as we step into higher knowledge and the ancient teachings. The ancient teachings were about how to merge ourselves. This is pre-Lumerian times, and that as we merge ourselves to our higher stations of identity, that the column, the silver cord, if you will, that passes through all our light bodies will make it an anchor back into this physical form, so we have access to all of our knowledge again through the veils, through the nets, the electro nets, the frequency nets that have been really distorting our mental plane. So as we begin to work with the dream state, what this is teaching us, because I will tell you, the more that I've really delved into this, the dream state is where we're most heavily programmed to stay asleep in our waking reality. There are programs that hit us in our dream time that already set the mood for the day, that keep us on the hamster wheel. And I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but I'll have days where I'll even be pouring my coffee in the morning, and I will just sit and go like Groundhog's Day. How many things do we do in a day that it's not that much different than what we did the day before? And we're really in these repetitive cycles. And part of learning our design, part of learning our actual owner's manual, is to learn how to dismantle every place the matrix is keeping us bought in through these archetypes. And all of the planets and all of the stars on a higher level are archetypes that are influenced many times by archons. And therefore, it keeps us playing out the theme as a human being, going to work, corporate ladder, whatever we do. This is shattering. This is shattering right now. And we're going to be the ones that are going to be helping guide these people. But what happens is, as we learn the role of the archons, now we realize, oh, well, it's just an influence, like a reflection, like the moon is a reflection of the sun. But yet, if you're not paying attention to it, it could literally change the tides of your emotions. And so therefore it moves us. Mars moves us, Mercury moves us, Venus moves us. They all move us. But when we understand their pattern, their sacred geometry, we can sit and, just like the clearing statements, when something passes through, we go, wow, isn't that interesting? I just noticed this was moving through, and this is how it's pulsing. The reason why this is also very important to understand this is because when we think about, and I'm going to call them the dark hearts, the black heart beings, the beings who live from dead light energy, parasitic forms that come from other star systems, parallel systems, reversal systems, those that work through either the reptilian, the sea carb, people call them black hats, people call them all kinds of, we have all kinds of names, deep state, whatever you want to call these beings here on Earth. It's a blend, and there's many agendas within agendas within agendas, because when someone's power hungry, they're power hungry even within their own organizations, right? So I'm just going to refer to them as the black hearts. Those that work with the reversal energy, they have the ability to remember their memories, so they know their history, they know far more of their genetics, their timelines, and how the ascension mechanics works, how the universal mechanics work. And so therefore, they already know that when certain alignments happen, when certain things happen within the celestial bodies, they know that those that are unconscious and just dreaming in the dream will more than likely be affected with certain energies. They know that when Mars is going to do a certain thing, or that when it goes into retrograde, or when it hits this house or that house, they know that it's going to amplify a particular vibration amongst humanity. Now, they don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but they know it's going to create like a wave or a buildup of a particular energy. And so therefore they actually piggyback behind it and utilize these waves. So therefore we can understand that when we look at astrology, there's no predictive to it. It's a potential, but now it's a potential that we look at and we see where the narrative is moving, and we're taking it from a completely other level. So as we begin to work with these Aquafarian beings, these beings are incredibly amazing. They are more of an aquatic race line of beings. And their entire message and how they work with us is how to connect our light body so we have our direct channel to ourselves, so we move past what they call the hibernation zones. These nets are like hibernation zones. And the reason why we're going to really delve into a little bit of this mechanics today is because the three primary dimensions that are affected by these hibernation zones are dimensions 1, 2, and 3. So this is our molecular level, this is our plant, animal, elemental kingdoms, and this is the human or the third dimensional consciousness. These hibernation zones are places, and here's the thing for us to understand. The fact that we're here in a body means that, period, no matter what, there's aspects of our spirit trapped in that zone. Bottom line. I don't care how high vibrational we are. I don't care what we've done until we actually do the work to go back into these hibernation zones to pull the aspects of ourself out. It's like they're stuck there, but they're also being fed off of. So this is where a lot of those voices come within our head. And the other aspect of it is many times within this hibernation zone, again, it's kind of like a frequency net that is just has soul aspect in stasis that is able to be fed off of. And therefore, as our plasmas, our energy is within this zone, not only is it able to be fed off of, but there's aspects of our soul body that are in there that then get hijacked, where something else will want to hop into it to operate with it. Now, it's very, very simple how we're going to work with this energy. It's very simple once we build our body to enter into that zone. We need to actually build our starfire body to a particular level to be able to penetrate through the doorways into the hibernation zone. As just a base 7 chakra being, it's not possible. The net, it's kind of like trying to go up to an electric fence. You're just not going to get in. It's going to keep zapping you back out. And that's why it's like that. We're going to build our frequency to a level where we actually open up or drop the gates to open up to get into it in order to build in. So this is part of this. But one of the primary things that, as the guardians have been showing this, that really stood out for me is that the message that's been coming for probably the majority of this last year of 2022, but primarily more prominently in the last 3 months, is the cry for help from the elemental kingdom, the fairy kingdom, the woodland beings kingdom. And this actually amplifies that within the D2, so the second dimensional zone, which is where the elementals and where these fairy beings have been holding planetary consciousness, that they're stuck. They've actually also been infected by these zones. These zones are very scientific. They're very mechanical. When we think about a lot of things, we're going to tap into it energetically, because that's our ability to tap into the sciences of our cosmic body. But in truth, these beings, a lot of these reptilian beings, a lot of these highly technologically advanced beings that have even been coming in from other systems in order to feed off of this universe, are beyond technologically advanced. They have the ability to read our soul through every incarnation we've been through. They can track us in and out of bodies. They know where we are in the zone, and within this zone, we can't see it. We can't see these aspects of ourselves within there, but the way that they've reversed the spin of the photons and the energy within this layer, it's basically a layer around the earth that technology has frozen an aspect of the light codes around it. So think about the electromagnetic field that looks like a torus that emanates out around the earth. And this electromagnetic aura or field that comes out around the earth, they've taken a layer of it and used technology to freeze a band of the particles within there. And then they took a little bit of above and below it and reversed the way that the organic energy, it would be like for us taking one of our chakras and having it spin in a harmonious direction, and to be able to reverse spin it. We will be able to sense it energetically. That's how we will feel it. We will feel it energetically. You're going to get to trust your inner vision, your intuition. We don't need technology. We're that advanced. We are a biocomputer. We're that advanced that we don't need technology, but we need to trust our abilities in order to really tune into the correct voice that is communicating with us. And part of this voice that's coming in is telling us to just come back into the earth, to really find all of the places where we've been running that program. This is one of the things they've been sharing, that program that we've been running, that we have a mission. There's this mission that we're on and we need to hurry, and it creates this urgency and almost this kind of anxiousness within the body. That is a spin on a natural kind of energetic life's purpose or life's essence that we have. When we live Law of One and we are heart-based, our heart is already attuned to compassion, to being of service to others. They've taken our service to others' energy and manipulated it in order to create a spin on it, in order to spin us outside of ourselves, so that there always feels like an urgency that we're not doing yet what we're here to do. It's always like right outside of reach. I need to hurry. It feels like I've lost my memories. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. There's always something missing. And they're saying that it's our job to start catching that, because it's false. It's actually a false thing. You know, we can acknowledge whatever benefit it's given us in order to get and just love where we are right now. But it's our time to start finding all nervous energy, all anxiousness, all anxiety, all places where we feel unworthy, not good enough, all of this. And coming into a state of it's okay to just go sit under a tree, to sit on a rock, to sit by the river, to just sit on the earth and do nothing with your body. And that when we do this it's going to take a little bit of time, they say, because they're running so much electromagnetic frequency through us. But the more we do this, Earth will help us ground this out. So we'll actually quiet down enough to hear her. And as we hear her, this is where the woodland beings come in, the fairies come in, all of the beings that we love so much, that we've been connected to since we were kids. And we get to kind of connect with them and let our quote unquote imagination bring our connection back with them. But that as we do this, the Aquafarians say to us that this is really that aspect within ourselves that invites us to remember this energy of surrender, that we can take our ego, all of our life's purpose, everything that we got to do, and then we get to, first of all, hand it back to Earth and just say, Earth, how can I be of assistance to you? Instead of me running around like, oh my gosh, I'll raise 2 hands for this. I've been like, I don't care if you want to call it a chicken with no head running around or a squirrel that's just freaking crazy. I've been that. I have been that. And my manifesting generator energy amplifies that for me. Where it can pull me when I'm not in my center, and they can run the program through my design. They can always keep my body feeling as though there's something I need to be doing, but I'm not sure what it is. This plays out in all types. Projectors, this is going to play out a little bit more in a sense of, I haven't fixed all the problems on the planet yet. It's always going to be this impulse of, I haven't fixed it all yet. Generators are going to have a sense of purpose. There's going to be this lack of fulfillment of purpose constantly sitting there. Like, I'm not living what I'm actually supposed to be doing. The generator energy. Manifestors will feel it's the heart. It's always the heart. Like, love is always just right out of reach. And reflectors, they're just all over the place. Love them so. But this is amazing because, again, as we start to learn, where are we kind of being played a little bit? Frequencies, like keys on a piano, played a little bit. What harmony, what song do we want to sing? And the song we want to sing is so subtle. It's the song of our heart that sings with the frequencies, first of the planet of the earth, and then with the planet of our, or the song, sorry, of our solar system, and then with the song that plays to the galactic bodies and the solar bodies. It's really, we want to start harmonizing with the they call it the symphony of the spheres, but the symphony of the spheres many times are played off of the solar logos. Sun, the sun is connected to Alcyone, so harmonizing back to healing the Pleiadian energy, harmonizing to Andromeda, and Lyra and the Aramitena 12 Stargate is the higher dimensional vibration of our solar body. So we're harmonizing the spheres, and actually there's actually a level with Orion within there as we harmonize that sphere. And so as we're harmonizing the spheres, we're seeing how we're reinstating our body in alignment. And this is going to be the bodies even within ourselves, like our organs, our meridians, our chakra points. All of them are going to begin to harmonize. And we don't have to do this all alone. Yes, the Aquafarians are going to be primarily working with us to help us to stabilize our own energy fields. And the mantis, or the Ontarian beings, are going to be the race line that's going to be doing the surgery, if you will. But it's kind of like filaments, light filaments. They work within the substructures of our light bodies. They work with helping to correct the filaments, the currents of energy. They're very much like advanced plasmic electricians, if you will, and they know how to help us rewire our light bodies so that we can actually light all the way back up. Any of you guys ever got those cool Christmas trees, and the Christmas trees that are already all lit up, and you're like, whoa, this is amazing, I don't have to do anything, and you just plug it in and it lights up, but then one circuit goes out and a whole section of the tree goes out, and you're just like, damn it. Where the hell am I going to find this, right? The Ontarians are amazing. We are like these Christmas trees that have maybe a few lights on down here. And they're amazing. They have the ability to really see us on a quantum level. They see us as light and as our solar radiance, our star fire. So therefore, they can easily pinpoint exactly through all of the light structures within us where to find exactly where that connection isn't made. And you find that one light bulb and you plug it in and it just lights everything back up. So this is where we get to really start to go, man, we don't even have to work that hard. When we're going to be doing the soul retrieval work, pulling ourselves out of these hibernation zones, here's how hard we got to work. You just got to find yourself and just touch that aspect of you that's in there, because it's you. And through sovereign divine right, it automatically pulls that aspect back to you. This is the beauty of us starting to learn that a lot of this energy that we've been programmed with, that the mission has to be hard, it has to be difficult, it has to be confusing, and there's always something kind of pulling us, that once we realize that the only thing we really need to manage is our mental sphere, our mind body. We have light bodies, we have emotional bodies, we have different layers of chakra bodies, we have our physical body, we have these different bodies, and one of them is our mental body. Our mental body is a sphere. It's more within the fourth dimension astral realm, and it's an actual body. A lot of times when we see those images of astral projection, this is more of that body we walk through within the dream states. And as we learn to go into these dream realms, we're going to be in the inner workings of the mechanics of the matrix. This is where the mastery of dream work is so powerful. Because if we can get into this beautiful realm behind the veil, the codes within our 15-dimensional time matrix, we're going to find that when you start to learn to become lucid in the dreams, that now you're walking around right within all the characters, right within all of it. And from within that place, you click into your creator God aspect that you are, and you can begin to reprogram it, rewrite it. It's tricky. Here's an interesting fact, and we're gonna really work with this through 2023. That we have the ability to even see through human design that you have one design as you are walking and waking. The majority of the planet is filled with generator types. 70% of the people walking around have an activated sacral center. So the waking world is dominated by energy, by this field, and reflectors are only 1%. They're the minimal. They're the ones that are kind of in the sea of feeling everything that is going on. Completely open. All centers on the chart are white. In the dream realm, generators are the minority. They're very rare. Most of us, when we fall asleep and go in that horizontal position, certain chakras or certain centers actually shut down, and many of the gates shut down. Many of the gates that are more about programming us through the mental plane shut down, and base gates activate. Primal gates, gates for fear, sexuality, desire. Certain gates will activate differently when we're horizontal, and the majority of us turn into reflectors, which means that we are just pulled around by however the dream world is. Remember, a reflector is meant to just be a mirror to what's going on. So a lot of times we go into sleep and we just go into the dream, and it's wild and it's crazy, and there might be a lot. We might be very semi-lucid where we remember a lot of it, but a lot of times, and even for myself, knowing as much of the techniques in the work that I do within it, if I haven't rested enough and really strategically gone into the dream state correctly, many times I wake up and I go, damn it, freaking pulled me along all night in this crazy realm. Like, how come that didn't wake me up? How come that didn't make me lucid? How come that was? And there'll be times I even, like, in the dream will be, this is definitely a dream, but I will still stay within a dream-like state and keep going along with the dream. That is how intense the programming can be, even when we know it, that it really takes a level of intention many times through it to not just go along with it, but to literally wake up in the dream. It's very, very different. Lucidity is very, very different. You are very much conscious and now directly saying, I'm going here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You can actually rewind dreams, redo dreams. You can play around like a movie, moving it around. Now, as we understand that, it's also a very powerful way of how many things happened in a dream that you dreamed that you go like, man, yeah, I was lucid. I was it's mainly semi-lucid. And I was quite aware of this and this and this. And you can have such a vividness coming back to it and realize, man, but I didn't become all the way aware and awake within the dream. You did not become the Buddha, an awakened one within the dream. This is a great reflection in how many things are we asleep to in our waking day. Again, I'll always be the first one. I'll raise my hands tons of times for all of this. I do this all the time. I'll go through and I'll be like, yeah, you're driving down the road. We block out the majority of what's happening around us. You go into the grocery store, you're in your own head. You block out the majority of what's happening around you. We don't generally walk around lucid within our life. We're usually kind of just getting here to there and doing, even when we go to work, we might even get into a task and become quite almost like a daydream within it. I mean, God, we can all raise our hand with, we've been driving and then totally spaced out the last 10 miles of the trip we were driving, right? So this is places to understand there's things happening in our reality all around us that are programming us, that we don't realize it, just like a grocery store. I love to use department stores and grocery stores because I know all of you guys can relate to this. This is a science. People actually study this. This is a degree that you can get within sales and marketing. How you stage your store influences what products will sell. So therefore, the placements of products is very important. The color schemes that someone uses. When you even go into website design, there's this whole psychology of what colors are you going to use on your website to get people to click and to engage. And again, we're moving through this reality as like these humans living our life, and we're going to get to the place where we become so lucid, we're watching every single program that's hitting at us. And as we start to become aware of this, we now are within our Merkaba vehicle, our light body vehicle that will be at a radiance so intensely solarized that it's like all of those programs are not going to infiltrate our field. This is how we are going to bring that new earth, if you want to call it new earth, that dream back in. Those inorganic programs that we're working through are meant to keep us in a reverse spin, introspective within ourself as far as I don't know why this is making me laugh like this, but those moments where, it's so ridiculous. We go in somewhere and somebody looks at us, or, we've all had this, especially as a kid, somebody looks at us and they might be daydreaming, just totally like off in their own thoughts. And they look at us and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, do I look funny today? Is my hair out of place? Oh my God, they're judging me. It's me, isn't it? And we have these impulses within there that when we realize a lot of our base psychological programs are still running childhood programs. So again, this next year, 2023, we are going to go through all of the placements within our blueprint that is holding us tethered to certain ages. 0 to 7, 7 to 14, 14 to 21, and also within the prenatal, within the womb, and that show the signatures within us where we're holding these really base energies within our psychology, that even when something happens, we might be an adult, but the way we deal with it many times sometimes reverts back to childhood thinking, childhood wounds. So I just want to kind of amplify this, just because it's like, as we can start to get this level of maturity of watching ourselves, our body, like a fine-tuned instrument. All we're doing is we're working in harmony with the Ontarian beings, with our own guardian races, to connect to our own channel of light, to really fortify our own radio station to our higher self that starts to create a massive lucidity within this reality that we're walking in, that easily creates an ability to see anything that's inorganic, anything that's artificial, and anything that's attempting to put the veil over our eyes, like a magician, deceive us in some way. And we get to just see through all the veils. What this veils is going to be is we're going to start seeing life more from the holographic light body geometry projection. Light and organic energy feels so different than anything that is artificial. And it's going to be that easy. It's going to be a fun journey, honestly, that we're going to get to go through in 2023 as we get to go through this. But this journey is going to give us the ability to clean out the hybridization, or the hibernation, sorry, I keep saying it weird, zones. We're going to really spend a lot of time liberating the elemental realm so that it has its full ability to bring this organic energy back, to free trapped souls, fragmented souls, our soul or spirit energy. And we will define the difference between spirit and soul. They are very, very different. Soul is a temporary vehicle. It's not our all. It's actually one of the lower. It's the next realm, really, above body or vehicle, above this incarnated vehicle. Then we have oversoul, monad, and so on. It actually goes even beyond that. So we're going to see the difference between spirit and then the difference between soul, and how we are freeing all trapped energy within these electrofrequency nets. And as we do this, this is going to be a powerful energy that is going to assist the planet. Now, here's the last thing I'll say about this. I know this is a lot, you guys. We're not here for us. Yay. We're not here to grow. We're not here because this is some school or some academy or some way for our soul to grow and evolve. Remember, our soul isn't even the totality of who we are. It's another vehicle that we use as an infinite being. It's just another body we use in order to work through different containers. We are here in these bodies to free not only the miasma that's been trapped within the lower frequencies. Think of it as like a pool cleaner. We're cleaning out the traps, the buildup, getting the circulation flowing again. But what we're really doing is we're actually helping the planetary body. We're helping Terra, Earth, Divine Sophia, to slowly integrate the solar light codes that are coming through. As we fix our circuitry in our body, we're the calibrators. We're the generator box that's harnessing the solar energy, and then through the soles of our feet, we're calibrating the energy for her body to be able to hold and stabilize through her starfire. Now, as her starfire is moving, this is the interesting thing to kind of understand about the body of Earth. She's not going to do full ascension. She's choosing the Bardo path. This was in order to help more souls move through this plane without fully being combusted through the ascension process and just becoming space dust. Remember, we are never lost within the totality of creation. No matter what, we will always return back to source. But the goal is to come back with your memories. The goal is to come back with the light fully intact. Come back as a starfire. Come back as you with all of the integrated information of that universe. It's the difference between going on a trip and coming back with all these incredible memories of that trip that you went on versus going on a trip and all of a sudden all of that experience just disappears, and all of a sudden you blink out, you kind of know you went on a trip, but you're just back at home. That's the difference. So what is Earth doing? Earth is choosing the Bardo process. What is the Bardo? The Bardo is the space, the liminal space in between the realms. For all of you that have connections to Hadar, Beta Centauri, to serpents, to the Nihal star nation. Nihal is masters at this. To any of you that have connections to these star races within, you're going to understand this has been part of your process for a long time, is to work with the Bardo realms. These are the realms of the in-between realms, in-between incarnations, the in-between vehicles. Now, within the Bardo, it's the most tricky realm. We think it's tricky to be a human. The trickiest realm is actually the Bardo, because the Bardo is so instantaneous. It moves with the speed of thought, just like in a dream. New dream now, dream changes, you're there. Bardo is very similar to that, but you have lots of intermediary beings that exist within these realms, that they exist there and that they feed off of souls, entrapping souls, lost souls. Cute movie. We watched this at the retreat that we did. It was that movie Soul. It's a little cartoon. I think it's Pixar, so it is adorable. Very, very similar though. You know, it has these realms where these beings, they're basically stuck in their own thoughts, and they become like these shadow monsters that kind of walk around and they're just in a trance, lost. That's really what the Bardo is for a lot of souls. It's like beings with Alzheimer's. Confusion, lost. And so when we have the ability to move through these realms with consciousness, so now as we start to look at what were the ancient teachings about, what did the Hathors really teach, what was the Isis who learned from Hathors really teaching? They weren't teaching how to really do that much in this reality. They were teaching us how to activate our light body so that when you learn how to control all of the lower desires, that you can actually become consciously out of body. It was all these ancient wisdoms were really how to move your consciousness in and out of the vehicle without losing your consciousness. So now we see lucid dreaming, we see our waking life, and we see this even in a lot of the teachings, even the Atlantean teachings. What were the teachings? That you lived your life practicing for that transition. It was the most important moment, was the moment you were going to leave your body, what we call death or dying, that we've made so scary. That is another program we need to get off of this planet. People are so afraid of that moment, but that was like the graduation. That was the entire lifetime was about preparing for just that one moment. Because that's how you pull consciousness through. And when you know how to move through, now you are taking your consciousness with you wherever you go, whatever body, whatever star system. You choose where you go. You don't get stuck in these astral nets. Again, I always like to reference the Tibetan book, of living and dying. Here I am, crack myself up. The whole book. It's so serious. It's so serious. All these mantras in there. But every single one, you can summarize it. Just don't get distracted. Keep going. Just don't get distracted. Just keep on going. When this comes at you and this comes at you, just don't get distracted. Just keep on going. And I just totally crack up because I'm just like, if we could take that core message, that is it. But how do you know where to keep going? that going is from your own star fire. You're following your own light, not the white light, not these other light. You're following your own light, and as you follow your own light, you're illuminating. And this was actually one of some of the a mentee kind of initiations to get through the Stargate is could you be locked in like pitch black and activate your inner light to see through the darkness. Still working on it. But I will tell you, dark room retreats are one of the most powerful ways to actually have the experience of seeing in the dark. A dark room experience within 3 days reactivates your pineal gland. It is one of the most powerful ways to decalcify your pineal gland and to create the rush of starfire through the DMT that is pulsing through your pineal gland. And it's almost to the point where it's maddening in sense, because when your eyes are closed, you get to the point where you can't tell if your eyes are open or closed anymore. It's so bright and there's so much colors and everything becomes amplified within the experience. It is absolutely incredible. And it's something that I do want to create another accessible darkroom retreat within our area. And, you know, there are a few across the United States. There are much more actually in Europe. For those of you in Europe, there's a lot more accessible. There's actually an incredible woman. I forget what country she's in, but she runs an incredible darkroom retreat there. Thailand has another one, but it's sometimes nice to have a retreat that you can go to where someone can bring you through, you know, if you do need a little bit of broth or food or something within your space, or to have a sacred space that's already created for that. But I will just invite you guys to even look that up as a possibility of some kind of initiation you can take yourself through at some point in this incarnation. It is powerful. You want to have an experience of, like, first of all, face every shadow in your life and then transcend it and have that experience of just full on guardian communication. I highly recommend a darkroom retreat. Very, very powerful. So as we get to explore all of this, that this is going to be a very powerful way in which we start to understand how to. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for joining us today. Love you. That this is just a powerful way to start to understand that we do have our own internal light, and that as we activate this light, it has a resonant, vibrant frequency to it that allows us, like a Merkaba vehicle, to move in and out of many of these electric frequency net zones that we currently don't or haven't had access to. It's just these artificial ways in which frequencies have been used to keep mind and soul kind of entrapped in a lower station and cut off from our higher Akashic records and our memories and our higher aspect of our soul. Again, this actually happened during the end of the Lemurian Holocaust times to the Atlantean times. It was in Atlantis times, the early Atlantis times, through the invasions, that this net was fully and completely implemented and put around this space. It utilizes certain satellites, such as the moon, and also frequencies that have been coming from Mars, to keep this net in place. And so this is where it's beautiful to understand this, so we can start to go like, oh, this is part of our history we're learning. And we're going to learn that prior to that, we did remember, we were freely coming in and out. We did have access to all of the other star beings that were working with planting and seeding and creating on the earth. And this is a lot of our memories that also create that resonance in us that drives us crazy, because we're sitting here going like, I shouldn't not know. I should know. It's like something's just not quite plugged in. And what it is it's this net. How we access it is to begin to amplify our starfire, our light. And as we do that, then we begin to vibrate at a frequency that transcends it. Not only does this frequency repel a lot of the parasitic beings, they just don't like it. They don't like to be near it. They don't like to be around it. Therefore, this is how many of the things, the people, the situations in our life that don't resonate for us will tend to just slowly start to leave our field. But I also want to prep us all that in that transitional phase, as we are amplifying our field, a lot of times what happens is we will find problems try to come into our reality. Why does this happen? Well, as we start to amplify our frequency, the parasitic energy, the black heart energy on the planet doesn't like it, and it knows what it will do to it. So therefore it will try to create distractions within our life, problems within our life, trigger the people within our life around us who are not doing the work to create problems in our reality. And we usually get affected by them because we're either usually related to them or somehow feel obligated to them, or they sign our paycheck, or who knows what, right? So as we get to start to see this, we get to go, oh, perfect. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because look at this. And I will tell you, as I've been working with this information for the last probably 4 days, really in depth, the guardians have been taking me a lot deeper. My phone has not stopped blowing up. I have 3 people in my life that hold the exact same signature. And if one of them tries to get to me and it doesn't work, the other one will. And if that one doesn't work, the other one will. And I already know who they are when they start texting or emailing or calling. And it's to the point, not only have I gotten novels on my text messages, trying to find triggers to punch my emotions in some way. Another one is hitting at the same time, both the same frequencies. The other one is just calling every day, every day, every day, every day, trying to get, and I'm all like, this is amazing. This is just hopefully this be a validation for you that when this stuff happens, take it as, oh my God, I'm on the right track. Hell yeah. And find any place. This is where we got to be really mindful. So how do I deal with this? I watch myself. I really look at, first of all, where does it potentially want to create a feeling in me where it maybe creates a pit in the stomach, something in the heart, or most times aggravation in the brain, in the mind, that's like, oh my God, the little voice that starts wanting to come in. And any place where you start feeling yourself wanting to defend yourself. This one's key. Any place where something is being projected at you, where you're finding yourself wanting to say, no, I didn't. Oh my gosh, this is what I did, or blah, blah, blah. We have this kind of instant feeling of wanting to correct what was not correct. It's a trap. The moment something comes into your mind where you're feeling your brain trying to justify or defend yourself, just say, I do not consent. Know it for the program it is. Know that when you uphold yourself with integrity, that every choice you've made up until now, even if you didn't totally like the way you handled what you did, guess what? You did the best you could in the moment with the skills you had. And look, it got you to right here, right where you are. So love it. So every decision you've ever made, do not apologize for any of it. Acknowledge it for the best that you could to be at the integrity that you are. And what do you want to do now is that every moment from here forward, live it to your highest integrity. Catch yourself every time that you would step into a passive aggressive or a petty or a defensive or an anything. We've all done it. I'll raise my hands 3 times. if I had octopus arms, I'd raise them all. I've done it all. I have done things in this life that if I had the opportunity to do it again, there's no way I would do it the same way. But I know that in that moment, running the triggered places within myself, I did what I did. We get to not only make it right in whatever way possible. There's a level, there's a balance, but for the most part, it is a matter of releasing judgment within ourself. That is the key. Judgment is one of the tools, one of the primary top 3 tools that the black heart beings use. Judgment. It's almost impossible in this planetary sphere to not judge. I have caught myself looking at the weird, like someone walking down the road, and you just feel a thought go through the mind. Like, wow, they're really bouncing down the road today. It's like, it's a judgment. It's not just an observation. It's literally a judgment. You know, I've caught myself in so many ways. And as I really play with it, it is tricky to not judge another person's experience. But the key is any place we still judge another, it's really where we are judging ourselves, where we are not fully comfortable in our own body, our own skin, our own energy, and who we are. Just for fun. Don't you guys worry. I'll always call myself out first because the best way. So with that, I want to just take a moment to do just a beautiful meditation with us today to really just begin to start to build this light body, the star fire that we are using. So just for the final little bit, just a quick little meditation for us. I invite you to get really comfortable. Oh, let your breath come in. Use your body, use your vehicle. Let your arms even sometimes expand and move to create the circulation. Don't make your heart do all the work. It's pumping all the blood through your system to keep the circulation going. But a lot of times when we really can utilize the entire body, this is where the ancient a lot of the work that we've done together has been through singing, dancing, music, working in circles together, because we're utilizing our entire vehicle to move energy on the planet. So I invite you, even through this galactic alignment, as much as possible to bring your body, your sacred temple, into the experience and bring that breath through. And that in this moment, I invite you to just come into your center within your heart. And from your heart, just acknowledge the vibration of compassion. The unconditional loving energy of being able to be in service, not only to others, but in service to our planetary mother, in service to our solar system, to the sun, in service to the spheres, to the solar rishi, in service to source. And that the more and more that we can get to a place that we surrender our ego, and we don't want to destroy the ego. This is, again, another program. We don't want to destroy the ego. It's more like you want to grab your ego, which is just a construct within this reality currently that we utilize as a tool. And it's a great tool when we learn how to use it. And grab your ego and hand it to Source. And just invite Source to guide, to utilize the ego as a tool. to be the greatest resource within this lifetime experience that you can be in service to the higher mission, in service to the cosmic cycles. That it's not our job to judge what's happening on Earth. It's not our job to judge how it's happening, because we're seeing it from a very, 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 very tiny perspective. And that until we really start to illuminate our starfire and see it from, imagine bringing your consciousness way out above your crown and way out into the higher monadic levels as a solar being, to see the divine perfection of the choice that Earth is making as she will choose to go through the Bardo process of being a phoenix. As we look at the Bardo, think of it as being a phoenix. It's to be willing enough to completely destroy and uncreate ourselves to be born brand new again. But that when you know how to hold your star fire, you're born brand new again with all of your memories, your consciousness. Now, from your heart, imagine coming up into your pineal gland and just watch it pop like a starburst within your third eye, and sense your Merkaba star spinning within your pineal gland. This is a portal. This is a doorway to the multiverses, that you can move through this doorway through the teleportation of your consciousness to any place, any space. But in this moment, just be with it. Feel as though it is spinning and vibrating like a spinning Merkaba star right within your pineal gland. And we're going to very quickly just take a deep breath in and hold it, press it into your pineal gland. And when you can't hold it anymore, you're just going to shoot it down your spinal column, pop it out your tailbone with a great force. And if it even needs to, push a breath all the way down and push the star all the way into the star of the earth, the heart of the earth. And you're just going to drop it into that plasma body. And from there, just say hello to earth, and then pull that geyser of light up around your body like a plasma field of energy all the way around your body, almost as though you are inside this container of plasma, like a star. And sense and feel that this is your aura, creating an auric space around you. It's purifying you. Now imagine just kind of pulling that Merkaba star from the base of this plasma field at the bottom of your feet and pull it up your tailbone. And pull a plasma channel of light, a currency of light that goes up your sacred Shoshana channel, like the silver serpent that goes up your spinal column, and feel it just moving with that sacred rhythm all the way as it just pushes through each of your chakras, through your throat center, and nests like a spiral of light right within your third eye, your pineal gland. And from that starburst of light in your pineal gland, you're going to imagine that star pops open even bigger, so it's as big as your entire head, and even orbit out, so it's about a foot around your entire head, and your head is just part of this solar radiance that is emanating from your pineal gland. And feel that starlight push up your crown, your seventh chakra. You don't have to think about it. It just naturally connects to all of the other energy vortices that move all the way through all of your light bodies. Now, come back into your pineal gland and create a blue sphere in your pineal gland. It's a beautiful blue sphere of light. this blue sphere creates a new frequency and vibration that starts to create your own buffer zone within you. And within this luminosity of light, this is coming from the higher stations of heaven. This is the Christiatic. This is the Crystalla light. And start to imagine this beautiful blue sphere in your pineal gland growing, and it's moving through the silver plasma like a blending of colors as it begins to infuse your plasma body with this blue ray energy. And you're going to breathe that blue sphere with a breath, like a ball of light. Breathe it down into your heart. And then breathe it down one more time, down into your abdomen, your dantian, your second chakra area. Breathe it down. Now you're going to breathe it down one more time, and this time breathe it all the way down, and it just gently, easily goes right to the core of the earth. You're so connected with earth body already that it's just there. And imagine this blue sphere of light is activating all of the Crystalla codes, the Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, La. Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, La. Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, La. And watch a diamond light begin to emerge. So it's like almost like a blue sapphire diamond radiation that is coming from the core of the earth now. And just imagine it being there. And from your heart, all you're doing is opening your unconditional compassion to her and just asking, how can I be in greatest service to you? Remember, you are the conduit that is helping her process. You are a spirit that merged with part of her body in order to calibrate her frequencies to move through these solar cycles. It's not your body. This is the beauty of being in service. How can I best be in service to assist you? And as you imagine this energy, notice how you start to sense the presence of the inner earth realms and beings. Because now you're vibrating more at their vibrational consciousness. That in this very I am present moment of now, that as we awaken our hearts, that we align ourselves to be in the highest vibration and frequency, to be our heart song, our true heart song that sings throughout the cosmic body. That in this very I am present moment of now, that as we amplify the song of our heart, that we acknowledge that our heart song emanates from source, from creation, from the spheres that sing the symphonies through all creations. And that as we align ourselves fully and completely to be in service to the law of one mission, as a pillar of light, that we call upon our Ontarian family to assist and guide us in calibrating our light body and filaments now, to calibrate and readjust and continually upgrade all of our light body frequencies in order to continually grow through this ascension process to be of the best conduit vibration as we assist the earth plane through this process. That we acknowledge our purpose of being here in service to all sentient life forms through this process. And that feels so good. To know that we are, that we are the living mission, that our existence is divine, and that we have the right to our consciousness, to our memories, and to recreate this reality, to recreate this earth plane, to recreate this reality back into the organic form. So the more and more that we align ourselves to the organic energy, the more and more that we acknowledge all of the artificial and the reversal frequency nets that have been in place. And all we have to do is, through our intentions, place our etheric hands upon these places to allow the restructuring of these vibrational energies to be set into correct and right motion. This is not us doing it. We are asking ourselves to be in service to Source and allow Source to flow through you. As Source flows through you, Source flows through your heart, flows through your pineal, flows through your arms, your hands. So as you place your hands, you're not doing anything. You are just allowing Source to, like a current of energy, flow right through you. You might say within your heart, I surrender my ego now to be in service to Source. Just allow yourself to be present with that vibration. Now take that crystalline blue sapphire energy from the core of the earth with all of Earth's intentions, Source intentions, and pull it up, pull it up, pull it up to the base about 18 inches below your feet, and amplify a platform of light underneath your feet. The base of your sacred container, your chamber of light. Like a pillar of light, pull it up around you. And take the center core of it and stream it up through your tailbone, and just keep it at the base of your tailbone for a moment. That base of your tailbone where the Kundalini sits. Just bring your starfire right to the tip of your tailbone. The importance of this position is multifold. Not only does this space hold the serpent, the spiraled serpent, the Kundalini energy at the base, which is your higher intelligence, but it also holds the frequency and memories of the 8 original fetal cells, of which your spirit merged with this earth plane with. And it is the place where we get to rewrite all of these encodings to galactic. We're taking ourselves out of being just an earth human, and we are merging Earth as she is choosing to be part of her galactic body, to remerge with Tara in the Alcyone system, to remerge with Gaia within the higher body, within the Orion system, to eventually merge through Lyra into the Aurora Earth blueprint that is held within the Andromedan galaxy. And all we're doing is we're taking our physical vehicle, your body. That's all you got to do is work with your energy and go into your tailbone and begin to rewrite the crystalline blueprint within those 8 fetal cells to hold now the blueprint of galactic citizenship. As you become this blue ray being, begin to feel now whatever sensations may be happening within the base of your tailbone. And as that feeling begins to grow, let that orb of light begin to expand out like a starburst. And begin to feel the current of energy like a sacred blue serpent. Begin to move up your spinal column, and as it pushes through each of the chakras, the moment it touches it, it just automatically resets the blueprint. Bring it up through your second chakra, third, heart center. Let it sit in your heart center for a moment and amplify your blue ray. And within the blue ray, almost imagine that you go deeper into that blue sapphire light, and inside of it, you see the color emerald. Now take that emerald light at the core within your heart and pull it up into your pineal gland. And activate the emerald light within your pineal gland to the crystalline records within the Sirian star system. Just amplify yourself for a moment to your monadic body. You don't have to know what all of this is, but just intend it to be now linked with your higher light body. As a guardian being. Just breathe that through. This is your driver's seat. From here, observe you. Observe the dream. Observe what you do. Observe what moves through the body. From here, use your higher consciousness to walk through this dream, to rewrite the dream, to redream the dream, and to dream the dream with Divine Sophia. Dream the dream with Source. You are already doing what you came here to do. Allow yourself to just be the star that you are. As you take another breath, anchor, lock, and seal all of this within. We ask of the guardians to please identify and locate all places in which our energy fields have morphed, shifted, upgraded, and changed. Please make note and record of this within all Akashic records and update them now. Project these updates forward to all future projected timelines reflecting these new changes and rewrite them accordingly to reflect our new path as we dedicate our life now to be fully in service to Source. With so much love to the guardians, thank you. To the Antarians, thank you. To the Aquafarians, thank you. To our higher selves, thank you. To Source, thank you. As we bring this beautiful, sacred session to a close. And so it is.